When it comes to talking about kids and transgenderism, the sad threat of suicide rears its head. Children and young adults do have the highest suicide attempt rates of any age demographic. And those who are questioning their sexual identity are, in fact, at an even higher risk. Some people argue that if you prohibit gender transition procedures for youths, it will lead to a higher suicide rate, and that the only way to prevent suicide is to affirm and then begin hormone treatment. But does this actually help or harm? According to a 30-year study, 30 years, a study done in Sweden from 1973 to 2003, patients who had undergone transition procedures were 19 times more likely to commit suicide than those who had not. In fact, suicide was the major contributor to death in patients who had undergone gender transition. Let me repeat that. Suicide was the major contributor to death in patients who had undergone gender transition. Far from stopping suicide, gender transition could perhaps exacerbate the risk of suicide. Another study conducted by the Williams Institute concludes that there is not enough long-term research about life after gender transition surgery to confirm suicidal behavior is significantly reduced following transition-related surgeries. In other words, the argument that only trans-affirming procedures will save lives, well, it falls completely flat. These reports suggest that transgender procedures do not decrease the risk of suicide in the adolescent community. They may make it worse. If we really care about kids, then we need to protect them from the reality that transgender surgery can lead to a higher risk of suicide rates. That's why this bill is called Help, Not Harm. We want to see kids with gender dysphoria find help through talk therapy that addresses other mental health issues that are often also present, rather than be harmed through irreversible hormone treatment and surgery.